Okay. I should be live on Twitch and I should be live on YouTube. How's it going? Perfect. It don't even show you right now viewing it. Yep. Yep. Sounds good. I'm going to shoot a few people messages and go from there. How are we doing today, guys? I had a few technical difficulties, so I started a little later than I was anticipating. But I figured I would jump on here. Normally, I'm not. I wasn't planning on going live right away. I wasn't anticipating Rush Limbaugh dying. I wasn't anticipating everything that's going on today. So, first and foremost, I just want to, if you're chiming in, let me know where you're chiming in from. And those of you guys who watch it later, let us know. It's always interesting to see where people are coming from. We want to make sure that we're trying to cater to the Patriots out there. So, I mean, the biggest thing is we want to make sure that everybody's understands what our mission is and move forward in the most constructive way possible for everybody. So, let's see. Okay. Time for truth. Everything working out on your end? Okay. Yeah, I'm seeing people are joining. So I'm just giving a little bit extra time before we really get into some of the topics. Where are you guys that are on? Where are you guys coming from? Yeah. I think some people are being shy. They're popping on and popping off. It's kind of funny. So hopefully we hear or see some people pop on quickly. Okay. Give me just a second. I'm going to have to pull a link up. So, okay. I think we got that taken care of. I believe we're going to start getting some more people on very, very quickly. Okay. Howdy, 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 winks of an angel. How you doing tonight? Okay, it looks like people are actually starting to show up. So that's I'm glad to see this. We have people coming on, joining in, and we're going to jump on it. We're going to jump into it. I know there's going to be people that are going to show up. They're going to see what's going on. And right now we're going to just talk because we lost one of the greatest legends of all times today. So, I mean, everybody by now knows that Rush Limbaugh died. And he's in a sense, he was the biggest inspiration for me to really get into what I'm doing now. I mean, the man literally galvanized conservative radio, dominating the airwaves for, I think, even more than 30 years. I mean, consider this. The man fought cancer, survived, and then got double lung cancer, and literally was still on the air. He loved his audience so much that he was still on the air literally a week before he died. Of course, if you haven't gotten to hear the actual call in to the radio or the radio broadcast that was done by his wife, now widow, it is one of the most touching things that I've literally in most of my life. It's one of the biggest tributes that I've ever seen of anybody. I mean, I don't. It's hard to put into words what a big loss it really was with losing Rush Limbaugh. But I think all conservatives owe him a debt of gratitude for doing something as simple as picking up a mic and talking. He was a still silent voice. He was a quiet voice, but it echoed, and it built the modern day conservative movement. It gave the forgotten men and women a voice. He was able to talk to politicians. He was able to convey the messages that we as Americans would love to not only want to hear, but what we need to hear. Because sometimes the truth hurts. There's no one person who is above getting called out. So that's kind of the main reason I want to do this live. But I also wanted to break down a story that I've been sitting on since about 4 days ago, 3-4 days ago, and it concerns other conservative media outlets that are being sued, and the lawsuits really started hitting heavy in the last, since November. once they figured they got Joe Biden into office, it was wholesale sue happy time on conservative media. The man I'm going to talk about today is Dan Bongino. Bongino Inc., or the Dan Bongino Show, the Bongino Report, it is a lesson for all of us who have a microphone, who have a keyboard, who have the ability to write stories, who have the ability to discuss the different economic impacts that we have in one another's lives. I'm going to put this lawsuit up on the screen, and I'm going to show you why this whole lawsuit is a farce. Sorry, give me 1 second. Okay, so Mockingbird 38 LLC is a plaintiff in this case, suing Dan Bongino, or Bongino Inc. It's saying that so here's the thing that I want to really hit on. When they filed this, they had to testify that everything was true and factual to the best of their ability, or to the best of their knowledge. Well, I'm here to tell you right now that Mockingbird 38 LLC is not a company. It never was. And the reason they are suing Dan Bongino is because he dared to show a video, or not a video, but a picture of Bill Clinton. Yeah, that Bill Clinton. He wanted to show he posted a picture of Bill Clinton getting a back massage from one of Jeffrey Epstein's sex slaves. So, but I was curious. So I read through it. I wanted to see, well, who is the lawyers for it. Well, so we get all the way down to it, and we see Craig B. Sanders from Barshay Sanders P. LLC, which is, for layman, it's professional LLC. They're lawyers. Well, let's take a look at something else that I'm gonna. Okay, I am going to find it real quick. I had it up, and then we had some issues, so it got taken down. But yeah, so now here's some information that I'm sure you have not seen. I am, hopefully, we didn't. Okay, it was up and now it's gone. Okay. So when we, okay, now I'm gonna share a different screen. So check this out. Okay. So the law firm that he is partners in is the Barshay Sanders law firm. Well, it's kind of interesting because you see the people that they actually donate to. Now check one last share, and then we will. Okay, sorry about that, guys. I wanted to pull up a screen, and I apologize. So, as you can see, David Barshay, Craig Sanders, Shivam Patel, and Edward Cespedes. When you look those guys up in regards to your, if you look those guys up in regards to who they donated to, check this out. So Craig M. Sanders is the guy we're looking at. There's a Craig Sanderson. He was definitely not a guy of interest, but Craig M. Sanders. Craig Sanders. There's an awful lot of wind blew in there. So let's get rid of Craig Sanders. So Shivam Patel, another one of the lawyers that's working on the Dan Bongino case, trying to sue him. It's amazing that all of his donations, Democrat. Not that big of a deal. I mean, everybody and their dog has a freedom to go and donate to whoever they want. They have the ability to do just about everything they want. And nobody's the wiser. So, one last, and that Shivam Patel, guys, just so people are aware, Shivam Patel and Craig Sanders sat right behind Clinton during her little thing with Benghazi. You look at the video, they're right there behind her. So they knew this whole time what was going on. So, again, what does this have anything to do with? Well, 100 Garden City Plaza to the Clinton Foundation is not that big of a not that long of a jaunt, maybe 15, 20 miles. And up to Hillary Clinton's house. Still not that big of a jaunt. It's only 59 miles. What does that I mean, so you have an active a active case focused on conservatives, and there's a lot of documents, and I'm going to be honest, I don't have all of them yet. We will soon. But all this stuff has been made very well public, and people, they are doing everything they can. If you talk about Bill or Hillary Clinton, you're liable to get suicided. But they are willing to do whatever they can to immediately destroy your living. As far as everything goes in regards to whether or not we will allow them to keep us silent, no. There is not the time for that. We have a voice. We have a microphone. We have the ability to speak to one another, to speak to our neighbors. But if we're complacent and we are willing, if we sit down and take a back seat, we're no longer any better than the rest of them. I saw that. I sat on it for a couple days. I didn't want to jump ahead, put the cart ahead of the horse. I wanted to clear some things up, make sure that we weren't going too far out in the weeds. And I also wanted to make sure that it was okay to discuss one of the best known conservative talk show hosts. I mean, right now, Dan Bongino has that hands down. But I'm not gonna discuss his his business matters and paint him in a bad light in any way, shape, or form. So I sent a message to him, and he said, "Go with it. If you can connect him to the Clintons, do it." And there's a lot more that I am unburying. These same attorneys are going after every conservative outlet. And I say conservative because they are not going after like your Fox News. They are not going after your MSNBC. They won't touch those guys. So they're going to represent non-LLC owners who claim to have copyright on a picture that was taken that was actually part of a 302 file. And yes, I've seen it. And as far as the actual 302 that is part of is still classified, so we're not going to release that at this time. I was told that there's a time and a place, and that time and place is rapidly approaching. So, I mean, I'm not getting a whole lot of action in the chat, so I'm not 100% sure if everybody's still watching or if you guys have fallen asleep. Are you talking about that picture, Winks, or what are you talking about? Yeah, any person that shared that picture in any way, shape, or form, they're trying to go after them and silence them. They don't want that picture out, and the picture they're claiming is causing detriment to their business to the tune of about $130,000 a time it was shared. In fact, if you actually look at the court filing itself, okay, I'm going to make sure it's that one first. Yep. So I think people are gonna laugh when they see this. So it says, wherefore the plaintiff respectfully requests judgment as follows: that the court enters in a judgment finding the defendant has infringed on the plaintiff's rights to the photographs in violation of 17 U.S.C. 501, and award damages and monetary relief as follows: statutory damages against against the defendant pursuant to up to $150,000 per infringement, and a permanent injunction against the defendant. And and this one was dated January 5th. Oh yeah. It's interesting to see that they're willing to go to that extreme to shut conservative voices down. And I mean, I'm not as polished as everybody out there. I don't have the whole setup ready to go. But I want you guys to just to see into my world for just a few minutes out of every day, if possible. The microphone's on and the questions are flying. But at the end of the day, who's willing to stand up? Who's willing to ask those questions? There's a couple questions that we do need to ask ourselves and to our politicians. I don't know where you're from, Winks, but I'm glad to see you here. I know, like there are some from Illinois. There's some from New York. So I don't know how you do it. I couldn't. And every we spend our time talking to people, and I've done a lot of talking to people. But one thing that I really have to ask anybody is who in their right mind, and this is kind of a rhetorical question, but it's something that we can definitely, it's definitely an opportunity to talk to people. But here's a question. How is it that killing jobs is acceptable in any way? How is it acceptable to put people who are sick, return them into the rest homes? And yes, Winks, I am talking about current events that are going on in your state with your governor. These are questions that we have to ask ourselves. We have to ask the people that are in charge. We have to write the letters. We have to, And that's those of us that have the platforms that, yeah, I don't have a big platform. Do I want a big platform? It'd be fine. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna compromise what I have to get a huge following. I'd rather share with I'd rather sit down and share with one on one, or even to 3, 4, 5 people. It doesn't bother me. But so you have corrupt attorneys that are paid for by the Clinton Foundation. They're paid for by Hillary Clinton herself. They've donated Democrats, pretty much predominantly all Democrat donations. But yet they're supposed to be impartial as attorneys. I mean, yeah, they don't have to be impartial when it comes to litigating a case, because they're being paid from somebody to litigate that case. And I don't believe it's Mockingbird. Yep, I did see that, and she was all proud of herself. Oh, I'm cast my vote for Joe Biden. I remember she made a splash out on MSNBC, CBS, and yeah, NBC and Good Morning America and CNN, and yeah. But with that law firm, all roads lead to the Clintons. Well, I'm just curious, and inquiring minds want to know how much of this was planned before November 2nd. How many other conservative companies are being targeted by people who are funded by the Clinton Foundation, or funded in part by people on the left, like the DNC or DCCC, whatever you want to call it. And then let's bounce back to your governor. I don't know what your governor, where he was. Okay, let's cover that topic real quick. How is it the foundation is being protected? Well, if you receive $25 billion from the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, money buys a lot of protection. You actually look at the administrative cost of running the Bill and Melinda, or the Clinton Foundation. Over 86% of the cost, that or all the donations, go into the administrative staff, which means it's going pretty much solely into Bill Clinton, Hillary Clinton, or Chelsea Clinton's pocket. And anybody with, and yeah, they might donate it to a few small charities, but they're not allowed to operate in Haiti. They bungled that one so bad that they were never. Hillary can't even go to Haiti. She has been permanently banned. But I mean, protection. If you make enough donations in the right places, you get the protection you need. Especially if it's coming from like DOJ, stuff like that. How they do it is they set up a lobbying firm, and they lobby individual lawmakers. Will they go to jail? they will go to jail. But first, there has to be some things. There is a. Okay, so doing my digging, and I'm very, very cautious about what I put out there because I want to make sure it's truthful, and I want to make sure that I don't jump the gun and release something without it being factual. But a friend of mine who has been a big source that I've used, and he's broke a lot of stories down for me, also said that when it comes to the Clintons, there's been a hands-off approach because they were careless. The body counts have been stacking, and there's been a list of everybody that's dropped around them. We can add Seth Rich to that whole thing too, because Seth Rich was the whistleblower that went to WikiLeaks, and anybody that tells me that he wasn't, I don't agree with you. there's gonna be a lot of people that ask me, "Can you show me evidence?" Well, look how fast that thing disappeared. You heard about it 3 days and it's gone. Nobody talked about it, and all of a sudden the DNC, they magically gave the family grief counselors that they paid, and the grief counselors were the ones who literally shut down the story. I don't know if anybody's. I see we're gaining people, but I don't really know if anybody's received any counseling for grief of somebody being killed in the line of duty or otherwise. But the one thing they normally would not do is they would not go out in front of the TV cameras and say, "Hey, the fam." I'm gonna kind of be silly here, but this is what I feel that they did, and I'm gonna just go with it. But imagine this microphone's a reporter. Yeah, we understand that there was a shooting and a family's grieving right now, so we would love to go and give the family some privacy. We need to make sure that everybody just settle down. It was just a mugging gone wrong, and the criminals are being brought to justice. What they didn't tell you, and what everybody forgets to say, is the criminals were never brought to justice. Benghazi guy that showed up online and says, "Guess who I am?" I don't know. I've never really, I haven't seen that one yet. So I'm just curious. Okay. Oh, somebody. Let me see if I can go back. Yeah, I mean, if you post, okay, just uh, give me a second. I'm putting in the that's the email for us. But yeah, it's interesting. I've seen a lot of things that I find very interesting that now they're starting to get into the mainstream. People are talking about it. They're taking information that they've gotten from third or fourth or fifth or sixth hand information, and yet they don't understand it. But I think as time goes on, we will start to hear more and more and more truth that's coming out. I think we are going to see a lot of people start really coming out and saying, "Hey, we got duped," and it's not gonna be a good situation anymore. Any other questions? Somebody did just send me something. Give me a second. I'm gonna pull this up. I'm gonna share something I found kind of interesting. I don't know if can you guys hear that? Okay. Let me see if I can turn up the noise on that one. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna try to. I'm gonna see if you can hear this a little bit easier. Oh, yeah, there we go. Joe Biden is on the phone with Poroshenko. His voice tenser now. Can you hear that now?
This is getting very, very close. What I don't want to have happen, I don't want Trump to get in the position where he thinks he's about to buy onto a politics where the financial system is going to collapse and he's going to be looked to pour more money into Ukraine. That's how he'll think about it before he gets sophisticated enough to know the details.
In other words, Biden does not want Ukraine asking for more money from Trump. Doing so would cause Trump to look into the details.
So anything you can do to push the Privat Bank to closure so that the IMF loan comes forward, I would respectfully suggest is critically important to your economic as well as physical security.
Critically overdrive to clean up loose ends. November 16, 2016,
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I just watched it, and I'm gonna I will do some digging on it, and I will see if I can't pull that guy and actually talk to him. If I can talk to him and I can verify that he is who he says he is, that kind of blow that story up and pretty wide open. It seems like we've been dipping in, dipping out, people all over the place. All you guys who are showing up, where are you coming from? Oh yeah, but I mean, the biggest thing, guys, to be honest, is we have to focus on asking the right questions. We have to go back to the basics. When we're sitting there talking to people, and I know I'm looking at my computer screen as well, so I can actually see what you guys are saying too. But when you're talking to people, you have to ask them three things. First of all, do they believe that there is fraud? They're going to give you a yes or no answer. They're not going to be like, "Oh, you're one of those people." No, they're going to give you a yes or no question or answer. And based on that yes or no answer, if they say, "Yeah, okay," and then play the devil's advocate. So whatever they are saying, go the opposite. So if they say, "Well, yeah, guys, I believe there's fraud," well, where the DOJ says there's no fraud, and I mean, you give them the same talking points that the TV is going to give us, because it's going to make people think about where the burden of evidence is. And if they say, "Oh no, there was no fraud," well, eh, the next question is, have you seen the Mike Lindell video? Have you seen Unearthed? There's another documentary that's coming out very quickly. As soon as I have a copy of it, I will play it in advance. That way, people have seen it. I should be getting it. I got the Mike Lindell video. I was told not to share it prior to everybody getting it all at the same time. So it was something that I had to sit on because I was asked to. But if I get this other one, boy howdy, that's one thing. That's one thing I'm not too worried about getting kicked off of YouTube for. I'll stream it live on Twitch. I'll stream it on every platform that we're on. And just so everybody is aware, we also have, so I don't have any swag or anything like that set up because, quite frankly, I enjoy doing this. That's the only reason I do this. The website's being built. Took it down. Don't want to duplicate what somebody else has. I'm not that kind of a person, and I don't want to. I will not go down that road. So, I mean, it's interesting to me that we can have the same platforms with different goals, with different aspirations for what I believe the channel should be about. What we really, as a conservative movement, what we need to become. How are we going to face the threat that we are living under right now and come out on top? My announcement yesterday was more, it was chopped up. So I'm gonna just kind of discuss some of the dreams, some of the aspirations that I do have in just one moment. But okay, so dream number one, or what I want to focus on. I want to. Obviously, I'm a political junkie. I absolutely love discussing politics, but I also don't want it to be this is a Shane show. If there are people that you guys want to see, that you guys want to meet, you want me to interview, send me an email. Let me know. And if we can put something together, I will do it. I want to be about getting the information right. We can I could do and copy what everybody else does. I mean, even Dan Mangino goes through the different resources, different newspapers all the time, takes clips out of it, talks about it, and uses real world experiences that we have every single day as conservatives, libertarians, whatever. And he's built an empire doing it. But I also know that I don't want to copy a platform. I want to discuss the real world happenings coming from on the politics, on the culture, on even the most basic things. I mean, I have a background in medicine, background in pharmaceuticals. I have a background in the military. Not only did I grow up, but I served. I have a background across several different lines of work. I was never satisfied with my job. And I grew up being an entrepreneur. Grew up starting up businesses, selling them off, starting up business, selling them off. So I've never settled down. Now I have a wife and 4 kids. So I am settled down. But this is a new adventure. So let's do what we can to make things interesting. But I do want to see what you guys want out of me. I want to see your guys' thoughts, because Shane can talk till he's blue in the face, but so long as I'm not engaging with the audience, it's not going to matter. Yeah, I'm busy, but it's fun. I only sleep for maybe 5 hours a night, so it's nice to stay busy. But what are your thoughts? What are you wanting to see, Winks? I don't know who else is on here. There's been a few people bouncing in and out, so I figured I'd give you an opportunity to let me know your thoughts. How do I do the research? Okay, I can I can help you with that. In fact, you know what? We're one of these days. I will dedicate. Actually, let's do it tomorrow. Tomorrow evening. Say about 8 o'clock in the evening, Central Time, and I'm gonna set that across, and I'm gonna teach you guys how I research, how I dig up information, because I have people that come to me with information, whistleblowers, and so on and so forth. And they give me documents that technically I'm not supposed to have. And I'm given a platform. I've been given a platform and a microphone. Some of that information comes from there. Other information comes from other sources like PubMed, like Pacer, some of those other places that you pay for the documents. I think it's like 10 cents a page. But it's well worth it if you know what you're getting. If you know what you're looking for and you're willing to go down those rabbit holes and you're willing to pay, there's a lot of resources available. And it's awesome for us because we're able to break stories like the Mockingbird 38. The fact that it's not a New York company, but yet they swore in an affidavit that it was. Yep. And see, I only use verified government documents. I will never put out something that I have not verified that with an OMB marked document. If you look, I'm gonna share the screen again. I know I keep saying I'm not gonna share it. I'm not gonna share it all the time. But if you so if you look at the very top of this page, right there, if it is a legitimate government document that has not been doctored, it is literally going to have the case number, which is right here. It'll say document 1 or whatever number it is, entered into what court, which company is, or which federal court system is it going under, and then it's going to say the date that it was filed. So all of these have the exact same information on them. Document 1 entered into Florida Southern District docket on 1/5 of 2021. But having that information is very important being able to decipher what that information means is important, because it takes what is real and what is fake and throws the fake stuff straight out the window. But there's so much information that's out there. If you know how to look, and we will teach you, if you know how to look, you will find everything that your heart can possibly grab, or everything that your mind could possibly ever want. It's all there. We just have to be willing and able to open our minds and learn how to look. What else? Anything else that you think I should cover? Winks, anything else? Well, good. And I, quite honestly, I love when people talk to me and want to know more information, because I'm willing to share the ability, or and teach what I've learned how to do. I am open to that, because quite honestly, when it comes down to the end of the day, we all need to know it. And I've been blessed to have a near eidetic memory and actually be able to retain information for extended periods of time, even though I only see it once. But if nothing else, you think that's how we get better, knowing this? Yeah. And guys, the movement has to be organic. We have to teach people how to do their research. We have to teach people how to decipher the BS from the good stuff. I mean, do I have a problem with the Q movement? No. Do I understand what people are trying to find? Yes. Do I believe there was some accurate information in Q? Some of the Q posts? Yeah. Do I think it's all accurate? No. I believe that there was a project called Project Notebook. And it was something that was ran under Stalin's Russia. It was in Russia. And Project Notebook literally had how to propagandize people. It was the how to propagandize people 101. Basically, it was a beginner's guide to propaganda. And he was very good at it. And he said, what you do is you start with a rumor. And he said it may be as benign of a rumor as possible, but you tell people that there's messages hidden in the newspaper, which is what it was at the time, because we didn't have Twitter back then. And then you would put out, or then they would disseminate a cipher, which a cipher is basically, for anybody watching this later that may not know what a cipher is basically a booklet that tells you what is what. The words, the meanings, what it could be the pig is brown. That could be this what you read in a book, but the cipher could mean two gunships at this location at this time at this place. There, anytime. So anytime people say cipher, that's what they're discussing. Because ciphers are that. They're codes. So when I see the Q stuff, yeah, the 17, yada yada yada. I've been down that road. I've seen just about every Q post. And trust me, I've seen some doozies. I've only been keeping track of what they've been posting online for since about 2011, 2010, 2011, somewhere in there. So I mean, you're talking almost 10 to 11 years, and I'm just the Q movement has literally evolved, and I'm not people if they want to. It's a free country, but I do not believe that people are being served well by following that stuff. I think it's better to focus on stuff that you can tangibly see and it's in clear language. If you have to read a cipher to understand what you're reading, and it's open, it's on an open communication, and that it doesn't have the words classified on it, it's probably not true. Because anything that has a cipher is classified or it's fake. But any other questions, comments, concerns? It's good to know. Yeah, it is. I will do everything I can. If I see something that's dead on accurate that I know is accurate, I'll say it. But I'm not gonna give air to a dying movement. Something where we come one, we come all. That's a nice slogan. That was used in Stalin's Russia. You will not hear me use that ever. I know I'm gonna get hate from the Q people. That's fine. But I also am a realist. And I want to be grounded in what is reality. And having tangible documents, having stuff that backs up the work that I do, stuff that I can verify, I can put out to the public and say, guys, look at this. There's no BS. There's no cipher. There's no nothing. Here's a court document. This is where it was downloaded from. Here, let me show you how to do the research to find exactly what I'm looking at. That way you can go look for yourself to see if what I'm saying is true. When you're willing to be open and transparent with people, people will follow. People will do what comes naturally for them, which is stay the course. And I think it's only just and proper that we stay the course. So, I started something when I was working with Underground Patriot and the other channel. We are no longer the silent majority. The silent majority is no longer silent. And those that watch later, always remember, America will do two things in times of crisis. We will come together and we will unite. We are in a time of crisis. We are battling for the Constitution that was signed in 1784, the true American Constitution. We need to live by the ideals set forward in our founding fathers, or set forward by our founding fathers. Live and let live. Freedom should ring from sea to shining sea, and from every coast, from every land. But first, let's fix the tyranny that is knocking on our doorstep. And with that, God bless you, Patriots, and good night. Thank you for jumping on. Go ahead and share this out to people that you know, Winks.